And above all, their builds are just different. The moment I see them, I think, no matter how you look at it, Japanese people can't compete with that. That's really how he sounds, bro. You sound like a bitch. Alright, so news this week. One of the silliest but also weirdest phrases has been trending, saying that black people are viltrumites. Now this stems from the comic book series and show, and a viltrumite is just a highly advanced alien species that is deemed as threats to the galaxy. And it came out of people reacting to the viral post that was on Japanese Twitter, which we're going to look at right now. Alright, let's read this. The number of encounters with black people in my neighborhood is steadily increasing. Their skeletal structure and the way their muscles are built are on a completely different level from Japanese people. I'm slim. So if I got pinned down, bro, if I got pinned down, if you got pinned down by anyone strong, you know what, bro? I'm gonna keep reading. It will be over in seconds. I never imagined that violence from a foreigner would climb the ranks in my predictions for my own cause of death. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. He says something underneath this. I finally get why Democrats are still holding their own in America. There are really that many black people who can't engage in discussion. Just saying you want to defend yourself gets you absolutely thrashed. The very act of fearing black people is considered discrimination. How is it not? If you're afraid of black people because they're strong, you should be afraid of anyone that has muscles. What kind of what are you talking about? It's exactly the same as what the leftists in Japan keep preaching right now. I'm not gonna stay silent. Alright, bro. We're gonna read another post, bro. I get it. Even in my neighborhood or on the train, there are definitely more black people. What's wrong with that? And above all, their builds are just different. The moment I see them, I think, no matter how you look at it, Japanese people can't compete with that. That's really how he sounds, bro. You sound like a bitch. What are you talking about? Even the women, if their height is about the same, have this thickness that's heavyweight from another world, when I think that if they punched me, one hit might kill me, bro. What the hell? What is this, One Punch Man? What are you talking about? It fills me with this unbearable fear. What are we talking about, bro? The comment right under this got me weak. Me coming over to kill you with one punch. Yeah, no, that's facts. Like, this is actually insane. I ain't gonna lie, bro. If you're in Japan and this is how you think, I'm genuinely. If you're in any part of the world that don't see a lot of black people and this is how you think, you need psychiatric help. I'm not being rude. I'm being so real. Like, I'm concerned for your mental health. Why do you think this is normal to say online? Matter of fact, I know why y'all think it's normal. Y'all think it's normal because y'all think no one's gonna read this, bro. But let me tell you something, bro. If you're this scared of black people, you got a lot more in store, bro. And it's not even us. We not even the threats. That's the real truth, bro. This is crazy work. This is crazy work, bro. Basically, the joke was that we were being described basically as supervillains or just supernatural aliens that are just threats to society. And like we've been saying on this channel, they don't view us as regular people. They see us as like this unstoppable alien race that does everything so different that we're compared to supernatural threats.
Get away from me! Why are there so many gorillas around? I can't take it anymore! I just felt a black person's presence. What the hell is happening in Shibuya?
And I understand it's a joke, but it's a lot of truth behind this, especially in this emerging era of racism in 2026. People keep imagining blackness as something larger than life, whether it's being fetishized or demonized. We always gotta be seen as dangerous, more physical, or more animalistic. And I wake up every day and I look at myself and I think, I'm a pretty regular guy. So this never really made sense to me. But of course, when people consume media of blackness and they only see one side, they just take it and run with it. And then they dehumanize us. The phrase blew up because viltrumites is such an insane comparison, but it's super accurate to how black people are perceived. We're seen as literal threats to what seems to be a good chunk of the world at this point. So the propaganda against us time and time again has worked. Since this phrase does not just entail that we're big and strong, it's really saying that black people are being imagined as an entire dominant species. So I guess all of us are just automatically a super threat. And I'm being sarcastic, but we're literally reversing history. I don't know how people could feel so comfortable boxing us into these strange ideologies other than the fact that they've just probably never been around black people. And that's why this whole thing is kind of satirical, because if you watch the 10 out of 10 show, by the way, this comparison is very real because it sounds ridiculous. But black people have been described in exaggerated physical terms for a long time. Racism is not always hatred. Sometimes it's just fantasy, as we already know. So people will act clueless and curious about blackness, but it's just an exaggerated projection. Where instead of just directly calling us some Sometimes they rather just see black people as physically unstoppable, violent, and for some reason extra sensual, basically deeming us as superhuman in some ways and less than human in others. This half compliment ain't even a compliment. Once people stop seeing you as a normal human being, these positive exaggerations become dehumanizing. So we don't even get to be people, and we never have. We're like characters in a video game to them. This is not new. This video just brought the conversation back up. These fantasies are just all projection. Now any of our good qualities, whether it's being stronger or faster, get weaponized against us to make it seem as though we're scary and evil. Us being viltrumites is the simplest way to explain it. The internet has this way of taking something ugly and then turning it into a joke in 5 minutes. So let me get serious. Instead of being offended, people decided to make a meme out of this. The same way how recently Justin Bieber had this clip of him resurface of him spamming the hard R, and a bunch of non-melanated and melanated folk defended him.
If I kill you, I'll be part of the KKK. That there'll be one less lonely nigga.
We already know this society will defend any evil person as long as they have some form of value. So now, a white man who was openly racist as a child can be defended for saying the hard R on the basis that it's old news. The statute of limitations does not apply for internet crimes. JB has the most divided fan base of all time. I'm not afraid to say it, bro. Back to the point. Black people started joking about this racist tweet. Humor lets people expose how stupid the stereotype is. But the meme also works because the stereotype is real, but at the same time, social media compresses everything. Fear becomes a joke, and now this is just another way to accept racism against us. I'm not saying we need to march to Japan and attack this man, but why are we always the jesters for people that hate us? I wouldn't make this video about attacking Japanese people as a whole. The deeper issue is that people everywhere project fantasies onto black people for a plethora of reasons I just named. But regardless of fear or fascination, it all comes from the same place. Blackness gets turned into something symbolic and something that people consume instead of trying to understand. The Viltrumite joke just made this impossible to ignore. No matter how people frame blackness, it always leaves the realm of humanity. Once people stop seeing you as ordinary, people start relating you to a myth. This is just another raccoonish way for our people to justify this obsession and lack of respect from all these non-melanated folks. People don't just copy blackness, they mythologize it and treat it like a source of power. We need to wake up, bro. We are not supernatural or intimidating freaks of nature. Can y'all shut the fuck up? The only powers we have is that our skin protects us from the sun. Get real with yourself. Blackness is not just being watched, it's being imagined constantly in exaggerated ways. And those exaggerations are still just as wild as ever and are lined up as another way for people to oppress us and for us to oppress ourselves. So black people being Viltrumites, I guess it's kind of funny, but it's only funny because it's revealing the real truth. People are still looking at black people as a fantasy, day in and day out. And most of y'all just don't care. Social media is not reality, but some people will take it there. These fantasies are just getting weirder and weirder. And whether that fantasy sounds flattering or insulting, it still turns our people into symbols, not human beings. Because the meme is the same old problem. Blackness keeps getting treated like a sick old myth instead of real life. Wake up. Go subscribe to the second channel, go follow the Instagram, and go follow the TikTok. I got this new plant. Her name is Sonder. Say hi to Sonder. It's S-O-N-D-E-R. Don't misspell it. Bye now.
Wow, that was so powerful. Academy Award.